sing out a song of Rotary to give my regards to Broadway. There we go. Sing out a song at Rotary. Give all yourself to serve. For Rotary hands working together. So to remember our purpose grand. Sing out a song and let it echo throughout the land. Good job.
Down on the bottom. So great one.
All right, we have one visiting Rotarian today. Welcome, Rodney Creech from Eden. Yay, Rodney. And then we have one guest, Jenny Gamble, and she is here with Karen today. Yeah. And the last string is always out on Miamisburg Rotary. Bam.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any announcements today?
Sorry, I just took a bite of food. Cookies are good.
How's everything today?
Cookies are good. Merchants Association meeting tomorrow morning in this room at 7:30 a.m. It's our January meeting, so breakfast will be served. So come have breakfast with us. Oh yeah, and our Monte Carlo's coming up in March. It's Friday, March 6th, from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. All right, nobody else.
All right, let's go ahead and invite you up here with Cameron. Last week, we brought in some new members and Cameron wasn't here. So we'd like to welcome Cameron Rose into Rotary. And here is his official name patch, and Nicole McGuire was his sponsor. Get a picture, Nicole.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
You guys want to hear his bio?
Sure. Let's do it.
Cameron Willis grew up in Eaton, Ohio, and was first introduced to Rotary as a high school student through an informal student attendance program with the Eaton and Preble County Rotary. The early exposure helped him spark his appreciation for service and community involvement. He later attended Wittenberg University, where he played collegiate golf and served as his fraternity's community service and philanthropy chair, organizing a 5K to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of America and coordinating service projects throughout the Springfield community. After college, Kim pursued professional golf for 3 years, earning status on PGA Tour Canada in 2023. As life progressed, a melanoma diagnosis, along with him moving forward with his now fiancee, helped push Cameron to transition from professional golf into a career in financial services. Today, Cameron works as a financial advisor with Miami Valley Financial Partners, alongside myself and Brian, helping individuals and families plan for their financial futures. He is preparing for his upcoming wedding, planning to settle in the Bellbrook area, and enjoys staying involved locally by helping with Eaton High School golf team. Joining Rotary feels like coming full circle and opportunities to continue giving back to the community.
You're official.
Congratulations. You also actually got just hiring. Okay. Question of the day. Who wants to volunteer? Rodney. Wow. Thanks for visiting us. And okay, so if you have read your Rotary magazine this month, you will know the answer to this. The question is, where is the 2026 Rotary International Convention and when? All right. That leaves us to Happy Dollars. Who is happy today?
Sure.
Copied the alumnus concert planned in December, a Christmas concert, and it was that horrible, horrible snow weekend, so it was canceled. And we finally were able to do the concert this past Sunday. We did take out the song, "It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas." But we kept in some of the Christmassy kind of songs, and we had a nice turnout, and it was fun.
I have $1 that my friend Jenny finally reached a couple of meetings.
Yeah.
$3 happy. I won at the races last week.
I'm gonna put 20 happy dollars in today because this week is my birthday week. So birthday month.
Anyone else?
All right, I'm gonna put a happy dollar in whenever I put this hat down. I'm going to New Orleans this weekend for a bachelor trip, so happy to go down there.
Really?
Behave yourself.
We're doing a fishing trip, so.
Fishing trip. Oh, is that what you call it? Fishing. All right, top dog today is the shared pot is $278.50. We're looking for the 9 of clubs and the blue ticket. $278.50.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the number is 340.
340, Karen. 340.
Jeff Nestor.
All right, Jeff, looking for the 9 of clubs. If you pull the 9 of clubs, we'll look for the jack of spades. Okay.
You didn't put the winning card in there yet.
No, I thought you still had it.
I do. It's not in there. There's no chance. We have one. I mean, yeah.
Thank you, buddy. All right.
All right, Rodney, have you found that answer out?
Yes. Taipei, Taiwan, June 13th through 17th.
You guys are Rotary geniuses.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna interrupt this for a second. Eric brought this up tonight. I figured the whole group wanted to hear it. Update about Paul Schultz. He's still doing well. I mean, body really, really great, given his age. His mind is still kind of in and out, though he's aware that he's in and out at times too. He's still telling his stories, and they're mostly true. He's not really fabricating much right now compared to the last time, but he's still doing fine. Mary, you mentioned some stuff during the meeting. He says a lot about Rotary apparently, but was there anything else you wanted to add about Paul Schultz?
I'll just send Steve his life. He said that he's enjoying it. They had a birthday party for him on Christmas Eve and bought him a nice big cake. He said, not nice big cake, so they knocked that down. And he's just, he called about Rotary and go back to his now.
Yes,
He's at Kingston, yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, can I? We should have done this during announcements, but we'll go back to announcements. This year, if you don't know, if you weren't here last week, the auction has replaced back night at the races. So mark your calendars. Night at the races is going to be April 25th. Here at the bottom, the doors open at 6. The races start at 7. It's going to be a little bit different than it has been in the past. You're not required to buy a ticket. However, we encourage you to come. So buy a ticket and come. It's going to be a lot of fun. The tickets are $25 a piece. The table, there's 8 people per table, so you can buy a table for $200. Expect more information to come out in the next few weeks. But mark your calendars for April 25th, starting at 6 p.m.
No horses.
And just know we do have to sell 80 horses as part of this program. If you buy a horse, you get to name said horse. You can name it whatever you want. It's $25 to buy a horse for naming rights.
We're also looking for sponsors for each race. There are 10 races, and each race that you can sponsor a race for $300. And there will be, every race you'll have a banner, right? For your sponsors. So if you're, I know there's some of you individually have sponsored with your business, or if you have any other friends that are business owners that want to sponsor. So we're looking for sponsors too. But again, more information will come on the details. All right, without any further ado, we have our esteemed Michelle Collins, our mayor, to speak with us about, I guess this is her State of the Union, right? State of the city. And
If anyone told you this is going to be interesting,
I don't have anything formal to really share with you. I do make my notes, but thanks, Rich. I just kind of wanted to tell you what to maybe expect or what you might see or not see in 2026. We'll have a riveting conversation about the 2026 budget. Jeff and I have only heard about the
Yep, everything's great.
You can help me. Would you like to come up and assist? The biggest thing, the changes that you're gonna see on Miamisburg in 2026 are probably personal changes. We, of course, we have council members, Rick Melton and Jeff Thompson and Jason Shea are replacing our three retired councilmen. And I can tell you, Rick is not here because right now they're out with our brand new city manager touring different city facilities. And you know that Pete Johnson has retired, or is officially retiring in June. Crystal over for him January 1st. And so Keith is still working for the city. There are a lot of interacting parts between Miamisburg and Miami Township. Some of them are good, some of them aren't so good. And Keith has a lot of institutional knowledge as city manager of how things have been working with the township. So he's going to spend his remaining 6 months kind of working through those issues and other things. His office is up at the Mount Collaborative. So if you see him around town, there's a reason for that. He is still working for the city. We are voting, zoning and building inspector Bob Strong, who has been here over 30 years, has retired. Our city engineer Bob Stanley is retiring, and one of the guys that you see most out on the road is Bill Monroe. He's retiring. So it's just, those are people that residents come in contact with a lot, just with the interaction that they need for building permits or whatever. So we're going to see some changes in those departments, and they're working on that now. I really have faith that Chris Fine will continue in Keith Johnson's footsteps of hiring the best of staff. Jeff will tell you, and anyone that interacts with Miamisburg city staff, they make our city. They make the left of the business look good. They are always professional. They are knowledgeable. They are inventive when it comes to like Parks and Rec, and they really just have some quality, talented people. And a lot of them are either from here or they live here now, and they're totally invested in our community, which I think is what it takes. It's their job, it's their career, and they care about it. So, while I'm going through the budget
and this won't take long, so we'll probably get out of here early. If you have any questions, just stop me. Hopefully I can answer them. If not, then I'll get you an answer. And Justin reminded me, I left my computer at the office and I left my glasses at the office. So you see me sneaking up to the screen on my right. So this shows our general fund, our budget of 25 and what we estimated and what's going to happen. Keith Johnson, as city manager, kind of gave staff the mindset that when we project, we want to be conservative in it. If we're projecting revenue, go on the conservative, and if we're projecting expenses, go a little high. Let's, save some money. So, and that's exactly what happened. And Justin, if you'll just want to click through those. So when council met to go over the 2025 budget, we were actually projecting a shortfall of $670,000. That didn't happen because with collecting revenues on the conservative end and our staff doing their due diligence and trying to save money on expenses, we actually came in over budget, under budget, and the reason for a lot of them were just unexpected revenues. We got reimbursed for an EDGE grant that we granted. The Jets donated, generated a couple $100,000 in income. Income taxes were up $200,000. Interest and credit lines were higher than projected. And we came 95% under budget of what was projected in expenses. So we have basically, we projected 26.5 million income. We received 27.6 million. So when you pay your bills, right, like at home, when you pay your bills and you have money left over, you put it in capital transfers. So we have a lot of money to do things we want to do. Council focus in the last 4 or 5 years is let's get park projects. We spent 20 years building Riverfront Park, and up until a few years ago, it was not done. After 20 years, Sycamore Trails, the city's oldest and biggest great park, but it was underutilized because of the entrance to it. It was dangerous. It always has been dangerous ever since I was a kid, and it was just an aging park. And with other communities surrounding us and the park projects they were doing, people were choosing to go other places. Sycamore Trails is going to be the park that everyone in the county, in my opinion, will come and enjoy, especially when they really get to know the amenities that are out there. I was talking to someone today, and they had not been to the park yet. I said, even if you don't buy your car, just drive through it, because it's remarkable that the changes that it's been through. Council's new focus, and Jeff taught me if I'm wrong, but with the monies that we have now, we have a really healthy reserve fund. We have been really good at saving money. And council has said, now that we have these projects done, the project is not done, but we know how much money we're going to spend on it. Hopefully, that's what they can be. So this is not my problem. But things happen when you build something, so you gotta plan contingencies for that. We have our arms around what the pool's gonna cost. Council is now saying get some more infrastructure done. We are putting in 2 new water wells because we really need them. the water wells, I don't know if you know where the wells are in Miamisburg that supply all of our water, but they're across the Linden Avenue Bridge, south, in the grassy knoll, basically. I don't know if you know where Dana's drive-through is, the railroad. That's where our water wells are. They go right in the road down there, and some of them are 50 to 60 years old, which that's about twice the life that we should have gotten out of them. So we're putting into new ones, and they're gonna be down, on Miamisburg Road, kind of across from Manning. I don't know, Carter's, your grandparents, or your, what I mean, excavating, kind of down that way, by Manning Road. Yes, past River Road, they still are in the city. The city, the design team, with the city and city staff, were really diligent, because we just redid all of Riverview. And so they went ahead and put the infrastructure in to tie these new water wells in with the plant that's on Riverview, the reclamation plant. So that's gonna be happening yet this, they've already done one. So you're gonna see a little bit of construction going on from those, but those are two greatly needed water wells. And so we're happy that those are happening. If you live in Sherwood Forest or know someone that lives in Sherwood Forest, that is the neighborhood that gets the most water main breaks. It is nothing for them to not have water 4 or 5 times a year. And, they studied it, there's a couple of different reasons for it. The materials that they use to run the main lines were not made of the materials that we have now. So they're cracking and, there's a lot of residents that complain of low pressure there. So those are getting taken care of over the next couple of years. And I don't even want to think about the money that that's going to cost, but you're talking $20 million to complete that whole project. So that's where our very healthy savings account's going to go. And Justin, I wasn't going to ramble on, but I am. But if you'll move on. So our 2026 general fund report, again, he said, let's be conservative on this budget approach. Assume a slow growth in collections. Don't count anything that you might think is going to be a one-time revenue. Budget for expenses completely, and maybe go over a little. And we want to keep as much surplus as we can for the Sycamore Trails Aquatic Center. We are going to have to finance the pool, but we're trying to pay as much cash as possible. And when staff came to him this year, in 25, and said, this is what we need, he said, no, find a way to cut your budgets. And he cut $1.3 million out of what departments were asking for. We project the general fund balance at the end of 26 to be $15.5 million, which is very good for a city our size. It's basically 55.8% of our reserve revenue. Council has told the staff that we always want a
minimum of 40% in a savings account of what we spend. And they've been really great at that. You can see we're almost at 60, but 56 is great. It really is. Justin? So where does Miamisburg get its money? Mostly from income taxes. a lot of people think Miamisburg gets all the property taxes. We all know better than that. We get very little from property taxes, about 3 million a year. Our JEDs, everyone knows what a JED is. It's a joint economic development district. Austin Landing is a JED. So if you work at Austin Landing, part of your payroll tax goes into what's called a JED. And the thought behind that was and still is that if somebody didn't fund Austin Landing and help pay for it, it would never be there. And the employees that are out there benefit from the fact that they now have a job, because we went together with Springboro, Miami Township, Miamisburg, to build Austin Landing. There's one called Miami Crossings, and that JED is basically the Dayton Mall. The little plazas around the Dayton Mall, they're in that district. And there's one more, and I'm forgetting it right now. I'll think of it in a minute. And the rest of it comes from court fines and interest we collect on money that's invested. Justin? Okay. And where do we spend money? I think there's a few more on that, Justin. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know where they disappeared to, but most of our money, the biggest part of our budget is police and court. They spend most of our money, but that's where we want the money spent. Remember, our highest priority is safety for our residents. And the next biggest chunk of the pie is quality of life. So that's basically Parks and Rec. When you have quality facilities like we do, it takes money and it takes personnel to take care of them. So, okay, moving on. So, biggest cost when it comes to Miamisburg is personnel costs. We have about 125 full-time employees. They're union wages, they're non-union wages. And the biggest change that's going to happen in Miamisburg in 26 is we're going to add one full-time parole officer, one full-time TCSU detective. That's the tactical yes, that one. So we participate through the MVCC. There's about 9 different communities that have a special police force. Like we share an big armored tank. We share it because we all paid for it, and it's stored. And when a community needs it, they bring it out. And they also share detectives, resources. They investigate things together. They do raids together. So they do a lot of great things together. We're going to add a full-time road sergeant. And because we've added more personnel than ever to the police department, our revenue costs are actually going to, our payroll costs are actually going to decrease because we're paying far less overtime to police officers. There are police officers in Miamisburg that make a lot of money because they work a lot of overtime. I was talking to Cindy Threlkeld this morning at a meeting with Brian, and Jeff, what did I swear in? 9 new officers last month. We are now 1 officer short of where we should have been 5 years ago. Right. So unfortunately, Chief Sedlak just, it was the second time he was a chief. So he just wasn't very aggressive in keeping up on hiring personnel. Hiring a police officer is very challenging because young people don't want to do it anymore. All you have to do is watch social media and the news, and you'll know why they don't want to do it anymore. If they do their job, a lot of times they get called to the table for simply doing what they've been trained to do. So that's never any fun. And That career is also very challenging. We hire them, we train them, we put them through the academy, and they might work for 2 months and then another city poaches them. So that's not fun either. So it's really hard. And I'm sure Chief Johnson, wherever he went, he probably goes through the same thing on the fire department. I know he does. I have a nephew that's a firefighter in Middletown, and I'm constantly trying to poach him. But the police department, they got healthy raises last year ish, and we are now extremely competitive with wages throughout our area. So Chief Brim has made a wonderful atmosphere for them to work in, as far as motivation and just knowing that he's behind them in every way. I will tell you, if I have a goal before I'm not mayor anymore, we need a new police station. I mean, we have police officers. I mean, most of them are in a basement, no windows. They don't have private offices. We have a very, very small police station for the size of our police force. So I think we need a new police station, and I think we need a new Parks and Rec building because they're crammed in the community center. You kind of spread out everywhere, right, Katie? Because you just don't have the room. And if you don't grow, you don't thrive. That's my opinion. But that's to figure out how to pay for that a few years down the road. Justin? Oh, we are going to be adding staff to Parks and Rec. Ryan Davis is kind of reconfiguring, I guess, how Parks and Rec is staffed. I have the utmost confidence in him. Things that are going to cost us more money. Rumpke is charging us 6% more to carry the trash away. And most people don't know it. Of course, everyone that pays a water bill knows that trash is on the water bill. What a lot of people don't know is the city funds your trash pickup. We don't charge you dollar for dollar what we're charged. Trash is going to increase, I think, $2 this year for the whole year per resident. But we're still kicking in money to take the trash away in Miamisburg. The pool's going to open. That gives other staffing challenges. Utility costs for all of us, including the city, we pay utility bills too. They have almost doubled. So we have to still provide things for the pool. We have materials for new parks. Our parks, slowly, one by one, they're getting a facelift. Last summer we did the park on the corner of 6th and Pearl, which is needed a facelift forever. That's the park I got my first set of stitches on in the back of my head because it was concrete and metal. So now it's great and soft surfaces. Well, we can skip the rest of that, Justin. So of the 2026 budget, we're gonna put $3 million in an account to pay for the pool. We're trying to keep the debt service, the money we're borrowing, we're trying to keep that payment under $1 million a year. So we're trying to keep that house payment under $1 million a year, if you can believe that. And so when looking, cities have to, if cities are doing what they're supposed to do, they need to project not only what's happening this year, but what do we need to do to make sure that we have money in 10 years. One of the things when the water bills went up astronomically, like 9 years ago, and everyone lost their brains, it's because the city had been collecting just enough to pay the bills when it came to water. They weren't collecting any money for the eventual, this needs to be fixed. So when the EPA came in and said your water system's not up to par, our choice was to borrow the money to get it up to par or to buy water from Montgomery County. And I wasn't involved anywhere in that then, but the city chose to upgrade the water system, which I think is the best choice. Montgomery County just upped their water bills, and they're now higher than ours. And we receive quality services. There's probably not a person in this room that's ever called the water department where they don't come out that day or the next day. I mean, they're just Johnny on the spot if you need them. So under a conservative outlook for 10 years, he said project revenues increasing 2% a year, which is very conservative, and project expenses increasing 3.5% a year. And again, the pool payment we're borrowing $14 million to complete the pool. The pool payment's going to be $945,000 a year in 27, and I think it's a 20-year loan. That's what we borrowed to build Pipestone. The loan was for 20 years, and we paid Pipestone off 2 years ago. So that's not so bad. If we go under that conservative budget, remember that 40% I told you the city wants to keep in the savings account? By the year 2035, our reserve fund would be under 30%. So next slide, Justin, please. Under what we actually project to happen, again, revenues are going to increase 102%. Spending is going to be kept down. And we're projecting in the year 2035 that our savings account will be at 60% of our budget, which is about what it is now. And that's fabulous, while getting a brand new pool and 2 new water wells and infrastructure that needs to happen. So things look good for Miamisburg. I think there's one more. So the CIP is the capital improvement projects, and this is the goals for the next 5 years. Basically, the first column, you want everyone to be healthy, safe. We want good economic development in Miamisburg. We want everybody to have an opportunity to have a great job and work in the city that they live in if they want to do that. And we want a good quality of life, and that happens through Parks and Rec. We want to keep that minimum fund balance. We want to save for capital projects, so we don't get hit with, oh my gosh, your water is not up to par and you don't have the money to fix it. Now what? We don't want that to happen again. The city likes to pay cash. We can get some really low interest loans, but I guess Keith's outlook, and I think council's outlook, is why leave a debt to the next generation if we can pay for it now? And that's certainly what we're trying to do. We want to make sure we have a good savings account, and we just want to stay financially debt free as we can. So that's really the budget in a nutshell. Things are great. You know, things always happen. 2 years ago, Lower Miamisburg Road, the part that's in Miamisburg, decided to slide down the hill. We didn't know that was going to happen, but it did. And it was $3 or $4 million to fix that. And no one knew that January 1st or December when we were doing that budget. So you've got to have that. You got to have that reserve fund to take care of things. That's really getting into the weeds. So does anyone have any questions? Yes.
It doesn't anymore.
Brent, the fire district last year became its very own entity. So it's like a school district, right? They collect their own revenues, they pay their own bills, and their revenues are generated through our tax bill. We voted in, the city residents voted in a tax increase to fund the fire district. The city used to put in $2 million a year, and we don't have to do that anymore. Any more questions?
One thing I wanted to add to our great mayor here
No problem.
is that
He's in.
besides personnel, we also have Josh Lyles for our
Oh,
city
that's right.
attorney, a Rotarian.
Are we announcing that for the very first time in this group? I don't know if you know, but Phil Callahan has retired, and Josh Lyles is the city's new law director. So if Josh Lyles is your current attorney, don't freak out. Josh will be able to do, I guess, estate work and whatever you can do at the county. But if you get a traffic ticket and have to go to Miamisburg Court, you're going to have to hire Tom Krosky. Yeah, because Josh won't be able to practice in Miamisburg Court. But everything else he does, he can continue to do, and he will do. He'll still be at his office. Jane?
What, it's closed.
Uh-huh.
Now they're gone.
I can answer that question.
Good.
Well, the only reason I asked was because it was dark and somebody was driving in there. I thought, where are they going? Why are they allowed in there?
Yeah, I didn't, that's just a speedy question.
So we put in those orange water barrels. The road is not, there's no side rail on that road. So if you try to drive in that park in snow or ice, we're concerned that you're going to end up in the creek. So those were put up to keep people out until the park staff we help with cleaning the road and the parking lot downtown. So the park roads are not the priority. So they put those up to keep people out of the parks until the parks guys can get their trucks in there and clean those, and then they'll reopen them. It's my understanding that they're gonna put permanent gates in the places that they have the temporary gates. But when the gates were supposed to be installed, we were getting snow before that. So this was the same.
Excellent. Anyone else? Jeff?
The only thing else I'd like to say is besides all the time council and staff spends on doing this budget and everything, the mayor spends a lot of time we do because she has to put up with the council along with the city staff and all the meetings. You do a great job, Mayor.
It's a pleasure. Thank you all.
All right, we passed out some ballots, and we'd like for you to go ahead and fill that out. What's that?
Is that for me? Oh, sorry.
It's like most of our unopposed. It looks like the only one that you really have to vote is for the.
Thank you.
I guess, yeah, Sergeant, which one do you
For
want?
Jeff. Vote for
Sergeant
Jeff. Vote
Harmon
for Jeff.
wants to be the assistant. So we see them all the time anyway, so put someone's name and I'm sure they'll switch off back and forth anyway, so it's not any competition, it's just, who's gonna have to be here almost every time.
Vote for Eric Flash.
Vote for Jeff. If one's not here, the other has to be, so.
Right. Sure.
Tom, could we borrow a writing utensil?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, well, there's at least one pen per table, I'm sure. If you need one, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm good. You're good. Thanks.
And like those up, Tom will get those. All right, and we'll take.
So,
All right. For the
any more ballots?
any more ballots?
Not quite, yes, but
Thank you.
All right. All right, prizes were sponsored and given by Orville Teisling. And just let you know, Cameron, welcome to Rotary. You've got prizes next week. All right. So the yellow ticket
Yellow ticket, first number is 676. 676. Bill. And the next one is 672. 672. Karen and Bill. Very good. And thank you very much for coming to Rotary today. We will see you next week.